Right.
Oh no, that's pretty kitty. Oh no, here, don't knock my coffee over. Don't knock it over, I'll pet her. Yeah, come here. That's a good kitty this morning. I know, we'll be still and try and get you on the picture. Yeah, that's pretty kitty, I know. All right, so it's Kitty and I. It's, I don't know, probably 6:15 maybe. Got the cooler packed. Got a few things organized. Answered an email. Had a couple coffees, took a shower. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna get down here and get the little truck. We got to load up a 10 or 2. I think is all I got left on my list. And then we're gonna head on over and try to get this party started. So hang around and we're gonna get it done. So happy Friday, I think it is. Yeah, it's a Friday. Happy Friday. It's been a long week. I'm already a little weary, but I'll get going here in a minute. It's been a long couple weeks, it feels like. So we'll get going. I hear the little truck running. It's got a thermostat problem, so it's up and down, up and down, up and down before it shuts off. So we're gonna stop and get some fuel, top it off so that we're good to go. We don't have to worry about running out of cold air. So all right, well, I better get to it. Have a good day. All right, a little after 7. Took me a few minutes. I couldn't find my typical Derek fashion. Couldn't find my keys. So yeah, I got to stop by storage, pick up some lighting just so I don't forget it. And then we need to I'm gonna go get some fuel, top her off. I did have to put fuel in it this morning at the farm. It's put enough to make sure I got over here to the gas station. So we're finally on the move. Sun's peeking up. Should be a great day. Looking forward to it. So hang around. All right. Not too bad. It's about 8. Beautiful morning out. About 50 degrees, I think.
At this point, I made it to the venue.
Set up right here.
What a beautiful place. We were fortunate enough to have the place for several days, so it made the setup and organization a lot easier in that matter. But you always want to leave a little extra time in your schedule for things like not being able to find your keys, having to add fuel to your truck because you let it run all night and you didn't put enough fuel in it. So I added a little fuel before I left the farm to make sure I made it to the gas station. But we did make it to the venue in good order, and here we are getting ready to get set up. So hang around and see how the day goes.
All right, about to get set up here. Got our tables out there. Up here in the truck, I got everything kind of organized by our supplies up here. Got our flowers. Got us a cooler in case we need a soda or water. Got our vaseware. We got that. I got to find some water here. There's nobody here yet, so I got to go and try to dig around, find some water. But I think I'm pretty well set. So, all right, well, hang around. We're going to get to it.
As you can tell, I got my workspace picked out and set up. I found the water, began to start the process of coming up with our formula for the centerpieces. We have about 70 arrangements we're going to make for this particular event. We're going to start out with the basic bulk of them, which would be the largest amount of flowers that we have to do, which is a square vase. I didn't have a preset recipe for these, so I set out 10 to try to get my my recipe set before Samantha shows up and helps me for a few hours finish them up. So hang around and watch us go. Now, as you can see here, I'm making progress. Now, blindly running into an event without having your recipe set is probably not the best option. But I've been doing this long enough to know that I had a count of flowers that I knew I had on hand, and I knew kind of what I wanted the centerpieces to look like. So I just wing it here by picking out the flowers, but I do know that in the truck I have plenty to complete the amount of centerpieces that I'm going to make in these vases. That's always important. You don't want to get down to the last one and find out you don't have enough flowers to make it match. So lesson learned the hard way there. Always be prepared and have your count ready. Being on site has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. One of the things about being on site is that there's a lot of distractions at times, and you're not as efficient because you don't have your supplies and setup where you would always normally be and easy access to. However, for me in this particular situation, the reason I chose to do this on site was that I was involved in other aspects of the event. So being there, I can stop and answer questions, talk to people, and be able to help solve problems and make sure our event goes off seamlessly. So as you see here, I continue to get my recipe set and looking forward to Samantha and Scott showing up to help. So if you noticed, I'm plucking and cleaning the roses as I put them in there. This isn't the most efficient way to do things. Typically we would have those done ahead of time or have somebody prepping and working with me as I put the flowers in. They're prepared and ready to go. So I'm not having to stop each time and pluck and put the flower in. But as I establish my recipe, it gives me time to think and ponder over the flower. So I like this process like that. So as you'll see as we go along, Scott will step in and start helping us clean and process the flowers. So as Samantha and I continue to make the arrangement, it goes much quicker. This is one of the disadvantages about being on site because you don't have the exact setup that you would at your general work area or workshop where the flowers would be prepped regularly so that you can be the most efficient when it comes time to make the flower arrangements. But people are starting to show up and the day is picking up, so hang around. It's going to be fun. I have my recipe pretty well set. I feel pretty good about it. So here's the final product. You'll get a look at it, and then Samantha and I'll get ready to knock out the rest of them. Anytime you're taking on an event like this where you have a large number of arrangements, I like to start with the bulk number, get those out of the way first, so that as you get tired and go along, you feel like you have a lot done and accomplished. Plus, it's a little easier to do smaller amount of centerpieces than facing down a stack of 40 like we're doing here. So at this point, I've established the recipe and I finished 10 of the arrangements in that process. As I worked through those 10, I realized that the workflow was a little bit, probably wasn't the best setup. So I made a little tweaks to the workflow and the setup that we had there to make sure our work was a little a little bit more efficient as we added a person or two to help. Samantha hadn't made it there yet, and Scott was doing some chores on the farm and was planning to show up close to lunchtime. So in the meantime, I started to set up and get ready to do the 30 arrangements that matched the 10 that I had already done. I was fortunate enough that one of my fellow volunteers had done some floral arranging in the past and was interested to help. So she stopped by for a few minutes and lent me a hand. Thanks, Angie. I did not film that, and so unfortunately I didn't get to show it, but I enjoyed our time together and we had a good time. Scott shows up in classic Scott fashion and decides that he wants to get into a debate right away, which anybody who knows Scott or had been around him any time realizes that, hey, if you want a good debate, he's the guy for the job. So as we debated, I unfortunately couldn't record the whole thing due to the profanities in which we exchanged. But however, we came to an agreement to disagree, and we carried on with our day. Eventually, Samantha gets there after dropping the kids off, and we really get to work. So hang around and see how it goes.
Yo, man, you know, cardiologist, you know it's 11, right?
Well, it's 11 in Hartsville. It's
Hartsville. It's 11.
Yeah, no, it's Hartsville zip code.
No, it's 11. It's if we bring it back. Just saying. If anybody who has a GPS, go looks at a map, it's going to say 11 and not Hartsville.
Google Maps on your phone, though, if you just type in Houston 1795 and talk to the park.
So now to the part that I just fast forwarded through so you couldn't hear what we were saying. But it's quite colorful and made my day, actually. I always look forward to a good debate with Scott. So he's easy to get riled up and it's contagious. So we had a good time with our debate. We got on with it. And then my friend, partner in crime, and fellow volunteer shows up, Sissy. She's needing some help. She had been there and did a lot of the work that you see already done there the night before. So it was good to see her, and she always brings a smile to my face. So thanks, Sissy, and we'll listen to what we had to say there. Hopefully Samantha gets here soon. As you can notice from my leisurely pace in which I'm at right now, I'm not feeling a lot of pressure here. I'm taking my time and easing into the day. Been there for about 3.5 hours. Probably haven't been the most productive as far as flower making, but I did do a lot of other things and getting set up and ready to go as part of the challenge. So as we move forward, it's like a horse running back to the barn. We'll pick up speed and pace as the event draws closer. So enjoy the leisurely pace at first, but know in the end you're going to have to pick it up. So hang around and see how we get there.
I need men with heavy backs.
Men with heavy
Oh, you messed up my house.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, look how pretty.
Will we bring in the kids for you?
I'm not sure where they go, Scott. You could just set it out.
Just since I'm over here.
Okay. While Sissy and I discuss our vision for how the night's going to go, discuss some details and other things that needed to be ironed out. In the meantime, Samantha shows up. We get her up to speed, and then we get to work. So hang around. It's almost lunchtime. I really wanted to include some of the conversations we were having in the background, but some of it was quite colorful with language that probably isn't suitable for this type of video. We were fortunate enough that our mayor showed up and had a load of beer. We helped him put that in the refrigerated truck to keep it chilled for the event. Scott and him had a nice debate on what to drink and what not to drink. Samantha got oriented to the arrangements, picked up the patterns, and jumped right in. So her and I are going to finish off these arrangements. We're going to break for lunch. These videos are really long, and it's complicated for me as an old man to try to figure out how to edit them and get them in here in reasonable fashion in which you can view them and enjoy them and not be too long. So at the end of this point, when Samantha and I get through these centerpieces and we stop to have a sandwich, I'm going to conclude the video there. But please stick around and check out episode 3, which will follow this. There's so much more that happens and goes along in making these beautiful things. I'll continue to bring you commentary and try to hopefully help you understand exactly our mindset and how we got to where we were and enjoy the beautiful scenery. And thanks again for hanging with Dedo, and may God bless you.